Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark. I'm your host, Michael Carabio with Landmark Title. We're really glad that you're here today, taking the time to invest back into your business. And building a business isn't easy. It doesn't come with quick wins, shortcuts, or latest trends. It comes with building sustainable, profitable uh, deposits into your business to help your business last. And today I have someone that has tested the test of time with building her business in almost every single market. And I'm really excited for this conversation about the long game. And so today I'm excited to be here with Kesley Helonen. Am I saying
Hallinan.
that right?
Hallinan.
Dang,
Yep.
I was practicing and I'm
It's
like, I
okay. It's okay. You got Kesley right. Like, who needs
yeah,
anything else?
I know, right? Kesley, thank you so much for being here. Kesley is the co-founder of Daughter Dad Team, and they've built a great business, a respected business, one with consistency, relationships, and values. I get to experience it because I've seen Kesley outside of the workplace, and she's someone that is like a magnet. But Kesley, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yes. So with that being said, I know, building a business is not easy. When you hear the word long game, what does that actually mean to you? And how do you personally define a sustainable business to you?
Great questions. Okay, so long game. I think it's funny when I first started, I wanted to make enough money to go on vacations. I got the pleasure to be a stay-at-home mom, um,
Hmm.
and built my business with my kids. And so that changed quickly when I realized this is just something I'm good at. And also when I realized that it takes work. So uh the long game for me is like not one transaction repeated. And it's
Hmm.
really more like how do I get to be in my clients' lives forever? And really building that relationship in such a manner that they want to be around me, right? Like
Yeah,
you said, I'm a magnet. I think some days I'd like to turn it off because it's hard.
it's
Uh,
draining, right?
it, but also I think I'm built for that. It's
Yeah,
because like I meet other people and they're like, oh, I can't people as much as you, and I'm like, I can't not people. I gotta people. Like
yeah,
that's my recharge is hanging out with people. So yeah, just really creating the opportunities for my clients to be with me all the time, and not just my clients. Like I have people that belong that I say belong to me who have never done business with me, but they refer me um
yeah.
and or are always, hey, you've got to meet the daughter dad team, you've got to meet Kesley and things like that. So I think the long game for me is definitely making sure that I'm creating relationships that last.
Yeah, that's so good. And you might have just answered this question with like just building those relationships and getting referrals from clients that don't even like have purchased with you yet. But in your career, like when was there a moment that your perspective shifted from like, I just want to, make enough money to go on vacations to like, oh wow, I can like really build a long, sustainable, successful business. Like when was that like moment? Do you remember in your career that it just kind of clicked for you?
A couple of times, and I feel like honestly it changes. I think that
Hmm.
it rekindles often, but one of the first times was, I was born in the short sale market. And so I remember saying to one of my mentors, I don't want to do short sales. And she said, well, do you want to make money? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And she goes, well, then never say those words again. And so I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And I'll tell you, like, the short sale market was hard because what I learned about being a real estate agent was it was not about selling houses, it was about selling the house to the bank. And like I was up at like 3 o'clock in the morning because that's what the East Coast time was on. And that's what I thought. I remember going on my very first listing appointment that was regular.
Hmm.
It was actually my very first listing was a regular listing. Uh, but then after that, it was like short sale, short sale. So I walked into a listing appointment with like this much paper. And a regular listing appointment was like this much paper. And
Right.
so that was one of the points. But then, my son was 9 months old. I was pregnant with my daughter when I first started. So when we got to, we didn't do daycare. We did preschool though. And so when both of them went to preschool, and I think it was for only like 3 or 4 hours a day, that's really when I was like, oh, I get like somebody else said to me, they're like, okay, you've dropped both kids off at preschool. Now what are you going to do? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to spend the next 4 hours lead generating because I was literally lead generating during nap time, 1.5 hours, and when they went to bed. That was it.
Right.
And so suddenly I was like, dang, I have so much time. I can do so many things. So, yeah, that was probably my first one where I was like, okay, I don't know how we're going to do this, but I got to spend way more time. And then that's what we did.
Yeah, but you were intentional about it, right? Like I mean, we're kind of gonna go off topic a little bit here, but that's the power in just time blocking and understanding like the time that you actually have and being productive with it. I know very successful agents that, I mean, they prospect maybe only for 2 hours a day, or like you said, an hour and a half a day, and they see a lot of success in their business because like there's nothing that they're gonna do outside of that than prospect. And so one of the things that I was going to ask you is, where's my question? Because I have a really good question for you. Um,
Wait, I want to hop in while you're finding that question. I
yeah,
heard
yeah, yeah.
a statistic yesterday that I thought was amazing. So, of all the realtors in the US,
Uh-huh.
only about a 0.5% of them consistently prospect 30 minutes a day. Half a
Yeah,
percent. 0.5% of realtors only prospect 30 minutes a day consistently. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like I mean, that I feel like that's how I won. Like, and that's how I got to where I was because I feel like 4 hours a day I had to figure out how to drop the kids off,
right.
get the lead gen in, and sometimes go on appointments during that time too. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm assuming like that was just that's a non-negotiable, right? It was prospecting, but within all the multiple market cycles that you've been a part of, is there anything that besides prospecting were non-negotiables for you and your business to kind of get to where you're at today?
Prospecting was huge, follow up, and honestly, like I said earlier, like the staying in communication with my clients. Because
Hmm.
National Association of Realtors says that they would use us again, but we don't stay in touch with them. So I
Right.
don't, and by the way, I've been that statistic. People have not used me a second time. But that's not the majority of our clients. They are using us again. And even
Right.
I'll even say in the last 2 years, we've had clients who didn't use us, like for their, like maybe they bought 5 or 6 years ago and then they sold and then they were ready to go again and they've come back because they understood that the experience with somebody else is not the daughter dad experience. And I
Yeah.
think that's probably my biggest non-negotiable is that my experience for my clients is that it's an experience. It's not a transaction. It is the I have the pleasure, the opportunity to help people do this incredible thing, which is to buy a house or sell a house. And it is stressful and it's messy and it's ugly sometimes. But
Yeah.
I don't need them to know that. I
Right.
need like I want them to just worry about packing and doing all that. That's enough for them to worry about. They don't need
Yeah.
to worry about all the things that we handle.
No, that's a great point, right? You put that weight and unfortunately that stress on your shoulders, but that's part of being a good agent. I want to say unfortunately, but that's just the reality.
This is what I signed up for. And
Right,
this is, I
exactly.
mean, the reality is like, think I can only assume attorneys take on some of this stuff with their clients on like caring for them because they spend so much time with them. And I feel like we do
Yeah.
too. And then we spend so much time with them. And then after 30 days, they're gone. It's like I made a best friend. And now I'm like, well, you closed. So, okay. So that's been like, I can't, that doesn't work for me. I'm like, I need to see these people again. I want to be around them. So that's why they get to be mine forever. I just call
Yeah.
them, we call them our forever clients.
Right. I love that. You're forever people, you're VIPs, you're forever clients. I
Hmm.
like that. If there's an agent or just a realtor on this call that just kind of strip down everything from you, from leads, marketing systems, like what foundation still needs to be in place for your business to survive? And I know you're kind of already talking about these things, but can you go just like a little bit deeper in maybe like a simple system that you provide to your clients? Maybe it's like from start to finish, um, the experience that a buyer meets with you to the closing table, or even after the closing table, right?
Uh, yeah, I take on that I'm the educator of
Mm-hmm.
process. And so I think that that's probably something that keeps me a little different, or it could be how I'm seasoned. So constantly communicating with them, as far as clients go, I'm like, if we get down to the basics, my lead gen's important. Like I have to do
Yeah,
Um, it has to be done. Nobody else can do that. Yes, I can pay an ISA, but at the end of the day, who do they want to talk to? They want to talk.
yeah.
So,
They know your voice.
yeah, yes, and I know that I'm going to be able to assure them and give them the confidence of wherever they go. And then just always telling them what happens next. What happens next? Because in the beginning, usually when we sit down with a buyer or a seller, we're going to tell you everything that's going to happen. Most buyers and sellers don't retain any of that. Even if you give them a video, even if you give them a breakdown of everything that's going to happen, they're not retaining it. And there's so much going on inside of the process of buying and selling. They don't have time to go back. I mean, some might refer back to your, here's what's happening or your video or whatever it is. But it's just like, hey, Michael, okay, so the inspector's coming tomorrow and here's what's going to happen. The inspector's going to be there for 3 to 4 hours. And then the buyer is going to go talk to their agent and they're going to decide if they have any repair requests that they want us to do. At that point, we'll receive the repair request and decide if we're going to do anything.
Right.
And we'll talk through that together. We're going to figure out a strategy that's going to work for you. And so I think using words like strategy, like I feel like in general I'm a strategist.
Yeah.
There is not one set way to sell a house. There's not one set way to help a buyer get to the end. Like stuff happens. I tell people all the time, we're dealing with humans. Nothing is ever the same. You even if you have the exact same humans in a transaction repeated, they're going through a different part of their life. So every
Yeah.
transaction is going to be different. So understanding that that is a thing and helping the client understand, hey, just because this didn't happen to me previously doesn't mean it can't happen here. And we're going to figure out the right way to get through it.
Yeah, that's really good. When I'm talking to my agents or lenders, like we really put the emphasis on like every escrow is different, but you made a good point that it's not so much the process itself, it's just the people that are inside of it. And yeah, we're all going through different things and different seasons in our life. And I think it's really important for us to acknowledge that. And that's just a really good point. So good job on that one. I like that. Um, Let's talk a little bit about like your brand because you guys have a very unique as you can see Kesley has purple hair, she has a purple shirt on, and I think you have like a bunch of cars that are purple as well because I see him driving around town sometimes. But let's talk about like how did that even start? Like why purple? Where did the name come from? I'm just a little curious to hear a little backstory on that.
Okay, so I was at a conference and uh I've, I'm like, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, so I'll just use basic things. So
Sure.
a very important person was on the stage and he said, I literally don't care what you do as long as you go sell a bunch of real estate. And all I heard was, Kesley, you don't have to sit inside the confines of the colors of the brokerage or company or whatever. You can be whoever you want. And I was like, oh my God, purple is my color. And I come from a marketing background. Like I have a PR degree. And so like I understand some of the psychology of things, and nobody uses purple in real estate. Like there are a few one-off companies, but like you look at your big name brands and they are black, red, white, and yellow.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I was like, this is great. It'll stand out. And even the companies that do use purple, they don't use it as purposefully as I believe I use it. Like their whole sign is purple. That is not it. Don't just spew purple all over the place. So then I started in real estate in 2009 and my dad came on the team in 2011. He was my lender before that. And so I'm over here in oblivious land and somebody had Dad already says he knew this, but somebody said to me, I don't know, however long after Dad and I started working together. Okay, so today we're in 2016. So it must have been somewhere in 2015. Somebody said to me, "Oh, I met your husband." And I was like, my husband was a teacher at the time. And I'm like, "How did you meet my husband?" And they're like, "The tall guy with white hair." And I go, "That's my dad.
My dad.
That's my dad." And so I go and I tell Dad this story, and he goes, "Kesley, I've seen it for months and maybe even years because we were together all the time as far as like going on listing appointments, buyers, open houses, all of our prospecting was done either at his house or my house or whatever." And so I was like, that doesn't work for me. So then we spent the next probably 6 months massaging what we were going to call ourselves. And I had taken my initials and called us the KKH squad, and but that was like a tiny little thing. And then we started throwing daughter slash dad on the sign so people didn't think we were married. And we went that way because I said I was here first. And so
Yeah.
I tell people my arrogance took over, and then I got to go first. So we just played with it. I played with logos and fonts and got to do all my marketing fun stuff. And then daughter dad was born, and we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary as daughter dad
Wow.
team. So in
Congratulations.
earlier this yep, a little earlier this month. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's how we got. And so now, and honestly, I think that was huge for the team because we went from I mean, I think our production like tripled just rebranding it and using the brand. And I think a lot of it could have been the comfort people felt with feeling like they're getting to deal with family. So many
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh my God, I love my dad. I would have loved to work with my dad." Or the dads are like, "Oh, I wish my daughter would work with me." And, there's so many sweet things about that. And I'm just like, it doesn't work for everybody. Like it's a family
Yeah.
out, right? It doesn't work. I tell people I couldn't work with my mom. I probably couldn't work with, I love my sisters. And I love my mom, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could work with them either. I'm a lot.
That's funny. No, that's so good. That was basically what I was gonna bring up too, is like how do you guys obviously it's a family business. You want to be able to balance business partner from dad,
Hmm.
daughter. And so it is a challenge. I could say that coming from my experience working alongside my mother, which we are the Carabio team. And uh, but at the end of the day, you just realize, like you said, having a family business is so cool because people respect it a lot. And you guys provide different values to the business that the your clients get to see, and so that's so cool that you guys got to make that work and build something upon it. And that's why I wanted to bring that up because I see the colors often. I see the recognition. Like people don't realize you are your brand, but when you can add some finesse to it with the way that you guys did it, it's very recognizable. And so, especially the hair. I mean, I've never seen you without purple hair, and I've known you for 6 years at least.
It's a rarity. And also
Yeah.
it's funny because I feel like I could probably, well, it's not probably, I can now wear just about anything and people know who I am. Like I was in the
Right.
grocery store the other day and this woman's like, "Are you that realtor?" And I'm like, "I am." And I was like, I don't do it often, but I think I was like in sweats or like yoga pants and like some
Yeah.
shirt I just threw on. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I look like this." But then, of course, I just bust out my phone and social media, all that, because I'm like, one of the things that I think is most important to me as a real estate agent is being approachable. I think that our industry is not approachable. I think people are scared of realtors, they're scared of lenders because there's not enough education around it. So when she
Yeah.
did that, and I feel like I don't e- I think it was a Christmas time. I had a Christmas shirt on. I'm like, I look like this. My hair is pulled back. I'm like, I don't think I had any makeup on. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh." But I want people to be able to meet me where they are so that I can
Hmm.
help them where they are.
That's so good. I want to talk about balance burnout because we all experience it at one point in our careers, and I know that there's someone on this call that is struggling with that. So the idea around um, you know, growth requires a lot of sacrifice. Usually their time from being away from their family, their health maybe can get, diminished a little bit. How have you personally approached balance while still growing, a great business?
I love this. I think it's the most important thing. And honestly, every day I'm learning.
And
Uh,
it's a different answer every single time. And so
yeah.
I love perspective on this question.
So I wake up early.
Yeah.
I find that I wake up before the rest of the world does. And when you wake up early, and the rest of the world is sleeping, people don't need something from you. So,
Yeah.
um, pre-COVID, my husband and I set the alarm for 4:57. We would snuggle in bed for 2 minutes, and at 4:59, our feet were on the floor. So now it's somewhere
Nice.
it's at 5:30, actually 5:27. The alarm goes off, we snuggle for 2 minutes, and then our feet are on the floor. I get to get some kind of run or walk in, and then I get to do one of my favorite things of the day, which is it's so dumb, but I help my daughter fill up her water bottle. I get her breakfast while she's getting ready. I help my son get breakfast. I help him get water. And some people are like, they're 16 and 17. They're fully capable of doing this, but it
Yeah.
just brings me the most joy. So I do that. And then they're off to school and I can, finish getting ready for the day and all of that. So that balance is huge. And then, with teenagers, the moments are so small for them wanting to spend time with me. So I am just available whenever I can be. So the minute my daughter walks in, I'm like literally standing at the door waiting.
Yeah.
Now, not every day, because sometimes I'm out working and or at appointments. And same with my son. We have what I call island time, which is usually dinner. I do
Nice.
not have a formal dining room. I do not have a formal. We moved this year, and I still don't have a table. We're using a folding table, but we have it attached to the island because I'm a grazer, and so is my son, and my daughter and my husband would sit anytime. So sometimes they're sitting, but so
Yeah.
I make dinner, and then it's like we kind of, and this is our time to get to be together. Um, I vacation. I'm like, these are the ways that that was the whole purpose of real estate, right? Was to pay for vacation. So I think acknowledging that I can't do it all. I also, oh, this is the best part. I'm like, if you are new or old, it doesn't matter. I hope you're listening to this. I am not available 24/7. I tell
Yeah.
people there are no emergencies in real estate, and if you wanted to see an attorney today, you couldn't. The
Yeah.
attorney would require a retainer, a signed contract, and then you could see them in 3 weeks. If the only way that you can see a doctor immediately with an emergency is if you come in on a helicopter. So, and a nurse taught me that because I used to say if you came in the ambulance, she's like, no, you don't usually get to the doctor by then either. You're 3 or 4 nurses in before you get to the doctor. So,
So
no,
good.
nobody needs me as an emergency. If my phone rings at 7 o'clock at night, I choose if I'm going to answer it. Most of the time, I do not. Um, but I think that that's huge. I think we have to remember that our time is just as important as our clients' time. And when
Yeah.
we let them know that that's what it is, they understand. They're not
Yeah.
going, oh my God, she's not answering my email at 10 o'clock at night. No, forget you. I got a life.
Yeah, and the great part is your brand already signifies family, and so people know that you have a family and that's priority to you. That's really important. Being able to set the expectation with your clients before you take them out shopping or get the listing appointment. I think that's so key because you're right. I think that's where burnout really does happen is when you don't have boundaries in your business and then you get walked over all the time. And so that's a really good point. I love the nurse and hos or helicopter thing that you just talked about. That's really good.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, what would you tell agents though that feel guilty for like saying no? Because we're all yes people, right? Like you just said it. If you don't like most agents will answer the phone all the time, but what if they say no? Why should they say no?
Why should they say no to the client?
Yeah, like not say like saying no to certain things in their business and like I feel like people are nowadays just yes, yes sir, yes ma'am people.
Yeah,
And that's
that doesn't serve the human. So
yeah,
success through others is a huge thing. Like I couldn't do what I do without my team. Like thank God for my buyer's agents and for my director of ops and transaction coordinator, who is so much more than just that title.
right.
But my life is important to me. and the client's life is important to them. And yes, I want to help them get through it, but not at the cost of my own sanity. Like at no point is this business worth my life. I'm building my life by design, and that includes that I will talk to you during normal business hours. And so I think agents get caught in that trap. And I listen to agents and they're like, call me anytime. I never use these words. Never ever do I use call me do not call me anytime. You can call me anytime, but I may not answer the phone. And I tell people like I my phone has rang I don't know how many times since we've been here, but I'm not going to answer it because we're together, right? And so I want you to know that you're important. Same when I'm with my sellers. I want my sellers to know that they're important. So I'm not going to touch, mess with my phone. So you just have to let them know that that you have a life too, and
Yeah.
you're here for it. And yeah.
There, I'm not sure if you still do this, but I know once upon a time you were doing some mentoring with newer agents. Do you still do that to this day?
I'm not currently doing it. I've been focusing solely on the daughter dad team and what we're up to, because we're up to some cool things this year, and I wanted to just shift my focus from that. But I love mentoring agents. I
Yeah.
think there's lots of I know that there's lots of mentors out there, and not all of them have done or did the production I did. And I think that that's important. But also I think the part that's important about that is teaching them how to have the life with it. Like you didn't get into real estate to make $100,000 and have to work 90 hours a week. You did not.
All
You
right.
got into real estate to make $100,000 so that you could go on vacations and pay for dinners out and enjoy epic times. And if you're not carving out times to spend with the people you love, at the end of the day, they're not going to be there.
From your perspective, why do you feel like mentorship, coaching is so important for newer agents? And I mean, it's not even newer agents, it's even seasoned agents. Like there shouldn't be a dollar amount on great value that we provide or great mentorship that we get from some of these people. But what's like some advice from someone like yourself that's also mentored somebody, but I'm sure you always go and try to get mentorship to help your business grow as well.
Coaching and training, I think, is the most important thing you can do for your business. Mostly because the coach or mentor is going to give you a vantage point that you don't have.
Mm,
It's not different than being too close to the project. And if you're too close to the project, you can't see. You're like tunnel vision. And so, absolutely, it's necessary. And in fact, I think if you reference back to the MREA, can't remember if it's 1% or 10% of the money you earn every year should be um tagged for education. And so coaching and training is part of that. And then, whatever else, reading books or listening to podcasts. I'm like on my walks and runs, that's what I'm doing. It's like a potato chip problem. Like you open the bag and I can't stop. One book or podcast after another. There's so much that we need to learn as humans. There's so much we need to learn as realtors, um, as communicators, that we can't stop learning every day. We have to be growing and doing that every single day.
so obviously, hopefully that whatever brokerage you're a part of, there is some type of mentorship or coaching available. Is there something outside of the brokerage that you're currently at that you can, um, promote as far as a coach? I know there's many. There's like a Tom Ferry, there's Buffini. Is there someone out there that you recommend that an agent could reach out to and experience some mentorship from there?
I feel like our brokerage, like you would have to be with the big brand in order to coach with the coaching company. So,
Hmm.
and that's kind of where I am. But I mean, Tom Fury, if that's your thing, there are lots of agents out there now offering coaching. I don't currently want to grow that part of my business right now. Otherwise, I would say,
Yeah.
hey, call me. And yet, if you're listening to this in 2027, I think call me. I also think um, sometimes there's more to it than just the coaching. I think that solo agents, I think it's got to be tough to be a solo agent in today's market. And there are some agents that are like killing it, but they've got, a transaction coordinator or something like that. So I do
Have
think
to.
the team aspect, that community that's created, I think that could be huge for people to win. And I think there's probably people out there going, I don't need a team. 100% that would have been me. I don't need a team. I can do it all myself. Although I did have a transaction coordinator from transaction number 3, but um I think that people in 2026, I'm watching people miss community, right? We got into Zooms in 2020 when COVID hit, and I think people are sick of it now, and I think they're ready
Yeah.
for connection. And so I think if there's people struggling and they're thinking I can do it all by myself, or they're looking to level up, I don't think there's anything wrong with leveling up with a team. Not to mention your team leads are going to be hopefully seasoned people who can help coach and train too.
Yeah. No, that's good. Environment is everything. I think if you're surrounded, I think as a newer agent, when you come in, you can be really intimidated by this by being around like players, but I think that's the best way to learn and to kind of put a chip on your shoulder. And then also like if you don't have a mentor or coach, just finding accountability partners in this business. And I think that's why it's important to find, like a good title and escrow company, a good lender, good vendors, because they can also be a part of that as well. Not so much from an agent standpoint. I think that's better, right? You're talking to agents that actually deal with the business. But accountability is so important in this business to help you stay on track.
Well, I think the coaching is too. Like
Yes.
the you would never see a football player. These guys that are going to the playoffs, that are going to the Super Bowl, they have coaches. There's
Right.
one, they have multiple coaches, and then I guarantee they all have some kind of fitness trainer, and they're making the big bucks. If you want to make the big bucks, you have to have somebody that is going to be there holding your feet to the fire. And an accountability partner is great. It's a one step, but that coach really opens up possibility and helps you grow. And Michael, I think you talked about like your vendor partners, and yeah, having vendor partners like you guys are great at holding people accountable. I've seen you do it because when one grows, everybody grows, right?
Yeah.
And so, um, yeah, I mean, if you don't have a partner in your real estate company or a team member, yeah, I definitely think, I guarantee if I called you and I said, Michael, I need my arms to look like yours, I have a sneaky suspicion that you'd be texting me more than once a week going, Ketsley, did you do your
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you said it. I love fitness, so I would definitely help anybody that asks. But that's part of just being an asset too outside of business. Like I think there's just so many ways to grow in aspects of our life. And one of those is mindset. If there is one word not one word, but just some advice that you could give out there in regards to mindset, what would you say is like one of your biggest takeaways?
Affirmations are not silly. They
They're
are
not.
so important. And the reality is that I tell myself how great I am every day because I'm afraid somebody else won't. And it's funny because I joke and say that I'll say, one of my favorite affirmations is I'm a hot, sexy beast. That's just for me and my woman form. And my husband, he'll then go, Yes, you are. And I'm like, No, that didn't count. I already told myself, you'll have to tell me another time. And
Yeah,
so, but I have to hear myself say it. I have to hear myself think it. It is important because we are in a no industry. We hear more no than we hear yes. And if you can't handle the no, you're never going to make it. And
right.
so those moments when I've heard, I don't know, 20, 30 no's in a day, I have to remind myself that there's still somebody out there who needs me. And that I'm a great realtor for the next person. Or I don't know. I just
No,
I
that's really good. I think affirmations leads to building more confidence in yourself, and I think if you don't have faith in the things that you could do, not just the business that you can build, but the clients that you can serve, you are unfortunately going to fall short, and it will be harmful to your business. That's for sure. Um, you've been in the you said 12 years, 16 years. How long have you been in the business?
almost 17 since 2009.
17. So, what does your business look like right now? It's not even probably comparable to earlier in your career, but like, what's the next step for daughter dad team?
Well, 2026, we started growing the team. I had been a no, I don't want to add any new agents to the team kind of girl because I felt like I just wanted to stay this small little thing. So we're in growth right now, which is super fun.
Hmm.
It gives me the opportunity to meet new agents. I have my eyes open to the people I do want and the people I don't want, the type of people I want and the type of people I don't want. I'd like to paint the town purple. I feel like it's a different
That's so
experience
good.
to work with daughter dad, and I know that it is, and I want it to be an experience worth having. So that's really what's next for us. Yeah, and just growing. And also, like, let me say the most important thing, just growing in my tiny little space. Like I
Hmm.
tell people I'm a lazy realtor. More than 20 minutes and somebody else can sell it. So yeah, I don't need to drive to the East Valley. I love you, East Valley realtors. You can have my referrals.
That's hey, that's why some agents get licensed, right? Just to give out referral fees.
Yeah.
Um, we're kind of cutting off with time. We're coming to a close here. I was wondering if you could give everyone maybe just one simple and sustainable way that agents can turn transactions into long-term clients. Uh, just not without overcomplicating it. We know that relationships are everything, but like, what's like one nugget that you have noticed that you do repetitively and you know that it works?
I threaten my clients that I might randomly stop by, and I do. And so, after they
Good.
move in, if we're in the area, I might stop by, knock on the door, see how they're doing. We do random things that would cause us to need to stop by, um,
Yeah.
but just and text them after. Call or text them after and be like, "Hey, it was, I had so much fun with you and I hope you're doing well and what's new? What did you change in the house?" Like the simple things. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, it with not overcomplicating, just touch base with them and see how it is.
Yeah. No, that's good. And man, texting is one of the best forms of communication nowadays. I think email will always be there forever, but I promise you the statistics like somewhere in the 80% range, people will see your text 80% of the time. Oh, probably 100% of the time, but 80% of the time they'll respond. But no, that's really good. Thank you so much, Kesley, for doing this and being here and just giving us your experience and knowledge today. Before we wrap up, I know we got a few people on this call. If there's any questions or um, advice that you would like to learn from Kesley, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. But I will be closing out here. I know how valuable your time is, and I want to respect that. So thank you, everybody, for choosing to spend time with us here today. And here at Landmark, we are so committed to being more than just a place to open escrow. We are here to be a long term partner in your business. And we want to support you beyond the closing table. So if you would give us that opportunity to help you build your business and build a business that lasts, we would love that opportunity. When you're ready, please reach out to us, send us your next escrow and let us earn your trust and show you that we're here to show you what a partnership really looks like. Thank you again for being here, everybody. And until next time, go out there and make sure you go and make your mark. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, Kesley. Let me turn this off real quick.